Before we begin this one, I was remiss. Bob, I always screw up at least once in these things, and I did, and Bob pointed it out to me. In the second ward, there was another candidate, Bruce McKenna. He withdrew his candidacy. His name will still appear on the ballot, however, because it was too late to withdraw it. So please keep that in mind. Now I see that only 2 of the 3 candidates are here tonight for the fourth ward. So we'll probably add a question if that's okay with the audience, because you submitted them. So we might as well ask them, all right?
Thanks, Brent.
Thank you, both candidates. Ms. Helke, you are on the ballot first, so you will get to respond to the first question first. And it is, Louisiana lacks a strong and engaged middle class. How do we encourage this vital economic segment? You have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, that can be answered really in one word, and that is jobs. In order to really create an environment where our city can attract those jobs, we're going to have to work on workforce development. We have some problems with low-skilled people that don't have the skills that match certain industry that we may be able to attract. I feel like it's going to be imperative for us over the next several years to really work with our technical school, work with our school district, and figure out how we can offer more in the way of skill building through our vocational technical program, as well as working, as our school already is, with getting kids out of the school building and into businesses within the community to kind of build those skills before they even graduate from high school. And so I feel like skill building, working on workforce development, and really making our community shine, making it a place where we can attract businesses, has to be our #1 concern.
Thank you, Mr. Gott. You have 2 minutes to respond.
Say it again, please.
You bet. Louisiana lacks a strong and engaged middle class. How do we encourage this vital economic segment?
As Laura said, we need jobs. Without jobs in this town, there is no middle class, there's no upper class, there's no lower class. The jobs that are in this town more than likely have been filled. The jobs that aren't in this town, people have to go outside of this town. They'll go 25 to 50 to 100 miles for a job. And they want to stay here, but if we have nothing in this town to keep pride in this town, these people are going to leave. And if we don't bring something back to the town, even if it's just bringing back anything that would help promote a fair, anything that we used to do, everything that comes back around is not coming. We're left with a shell right at the moment. And if we don't do something now to bring back jobs of any kind, even 10 jobs, that's revenue back to this town. Without the revenue in this town, without people coming back to this town, there is no jobs. So there is no people for the jobs. If we got people that come back for the jobs, they'll train. They got to be trained. Big problem is what we used to do is have summer help for jobs. Well, that's gone because other people are taking the jobs. The kids, there's insurance liabilities and everything else for a lot of these that you got to be 18 or 21 to do. It's just gotten to a point that if we don't do something now, that there is no middle class.
Thank you. Mr. Gott, you will have the opportunity to answer the second question first, and that question is this. What is Louisiana's greatest need, and how will you specifically go about filling it? You have 2 minutes, sir.
The greatest need of this town is jobs, improvement in the city. The only problem is I cannot do it. It takes a group. One person is not going to cure this. We need to have a group that can We might be able to disagree, but we need to agree and support whatever, even if we don't like it and it's brought in. You need to support it. You can't, every time you're negative about anything, it just drops it out. So what we need to do is to start looking at what we can do to clean up the city, bring stuff in. I mean, even if it's just a cosmetic look, people that go down Georgia Street, I hear it all the time, this is the worst street they've ever been on. Why? And this is the main street. Why don't we change the budget around and bring something back to these streets? And you bring people back.
Thank you. Ms. Helke, you have 2 minutes to respond.
Well, I kind of differ a little bit with, I guess, kind of what a lot of the candidates have said tonight, in the fact that I don't believe it's about us. It is not about our city government. City government should be about you. And it should be about how we can engage you and how we can bring everybody to the table. The 8 people that are sitting on the city council, we're going to have to vote on things. We're going to have to make decisions. Those decisions affect all of you. But the bottom line is, we are not going to revitalize this community unless all of us are on board. We have community organizations, we have a school district, we have just already, we have an artisan community, we have a congregation, a community of congregations. They're just waiting.